Alright, so this is me trying to do some kind of introduction, which already feels weird because, like, Chaotic Wise Girl doesn't do introductions. She just kinda shows up. Usually mid-spiral, half caffeinated, occasionally rolling her eyes after yet another school meeting about her spiral-shaped kids where, as she'd put it, thinking outside the manual, something she does pretty much daily, isn't exactly standard practice. And for a family like ours, who basically operate off map, let's just say the school meetings pile up. So yeah, more than a manual approved polished intro, think of this as, I don't know, a flare? Shot out of some messy in-between fog inside of me where words haven't quite formed yet, but something's still clearly trying to get out. But look, that's the whole thing. Chaotic Wise Girl wasn't born from clarity, or from one of those picture-perfect "I finally got my life together" posts people drop over on LinkedIn. She showed up mid-meltdown, mid-eye twitch, mid-what even is my life? From one of those fuck it moments that, don't actually end things, they start them. Unless, of course, you panic halfway through and force yourself back into some manual-approved version of normal. Been there, don't recommend. It's like pressing airplane mode on your soul mid-takeoff. So instead of doing that, Chaotic Wise Girl just crawled out sideways, through the cracks, through the chaos. And I swear, one day she just grabbed the mic straight out of my hands, started talking totally uninvited over on Substack. Yeah, that's actually where this whole spiral started. And she spoke straight from the part of me that usually stays quiet. Not because it has nothing to say, but because it never really knows how to say anything without first getting it pre-approved by my internal micromanager, who, by the way, is named Ulf. Ulf is basically the Swedish version of Greg, made of beige, fueled by spreadsheets, terrified of chaos. He calls his way of being responsible, but really, it's just control issues in a cardigan. He lives rent-free in my skull, whispering, "Sure, follow your soul, but only if it still looks good on your curriculum." Anyway, I'll tell you more about Ulf some other time. For now, let's just say this space, whatever it's morphing into, is not about having it all together. It's about showing up while it's still cooking. While the sauce is separating, the timer goes off, and you're just standing there like, yeah, it's fine. It's art. Because honestly, if that's not most of life when you're a curious, creative, spiral soul, then you're probably listening a little too much to Ulf. So if your thoughts refuse to line up into neat little PowerPoint slides, if your knowing lives somewhere between your gut and that buzzing space behind your eyes, if your resting face looks like it's processing 12 layers of reality at once, then yeah, you're in the right place. This little corner of the internet is for the ones who see in webs, not lines. The ones who can speak the official language, at least sometimes, but always feel like they're translating reality from a mother tongue nobody else seems to remember. It's for the ones who know things, not always in words, but in waves, who look around and think, wait, is it just me, or is this whole setup missing something kinda obvious? By the way, no, it's not just you. So yeah, if you've ever been called too much, too weird, too intense, too sideways to fit, by someone else or by your own internal micromanager, welcome. This space is for you. It's here to remind you you're not broken. You're just vibing on a frequency most of the "I just do what the manual says" types can't even tune into. Because let's face it can get lonely and a bit scary out here sometimes. But that doesn't mean you're lost. It just means you're walking a path most of the map makers never even knew existed. You know that quiet data your nervous system sends before your brain even catches up? That flicker just under the small talk? The one you can't unhear even when you try to play normal? Yeah, that one. The one that comes with the parts of you probably labeled broken or too weird for this planet? That's not noise. That's part of how you know. And that type of knowing, that's what Chaotic Wise Girl was born from, and what she listens to. So she doesn't need you to translate your knowing into something neat or digestible or even understandable before it counts. She herself talks in the half-formed, in the spiraled, in the contradiction, and the contradiction beneath that one. In fact, she doesn't just talk in them, she trusts them, sees them as portals, lets them lead. And she stumbles. A lot. Then just laughs, shrugs, and keeps going anyway. Because she knows the stumble is part of the magic. That's where life hides its best punchlines. In the glitch, in the awkward, in what the manual followers would probably call an HR concern. So yeah, come as you are, mid-spiral, half-sentence, breath caught somewhere between a sigh and a scream. You don't need to tidy your room, organize your thoughts, sort out your trauma, or fix your finances to be here. This isn't a test, it's an invitation for the spiral souls together, toss the manual, or at least stop letting Ulf make all the decisions, and to start trusting that wild, brilliant, chaotic wisdom again. Which, hey, Ulf's actually a part of too. It's just when he runs the show by himself, he totally kills the vibe. So, if this hits somewhere between your ribs and your to-do list, help me send a signal out, subscribe, like, or tell your favorite houseplant it's not alone in this chaos.